When we were shown this clip in last week's preview for this week's episode, I think we all knew we were in for a treat, animation-wise, but I did not expect Digimon episode 54 to look this good. Thanks to the power of guest animators, just like the Ponchomon episode, we have on our hands what will go down as one of the best episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020. And that's because the beautiful animation was supplementing a really strong story that has one of the series' best callbacks, which I'll explain for you all later in this video. Welcome to the Digino. If you're new here and you're a Digimon fan, you're in the right place. We have a new Digimon discussion video up, rain or shine, every Sunday, so if that sounds good, please consider subscribing. So this episode, it had no business being as beautiful as it was, and yet we were served roughly 22 minutes of some of the best looking Digimon content that you can find. When I saw that preview last week, the cynic in me, knowing that the show can oftentimes look very meh, I kind of expected that fight to be beautiful for 20 seconds, but everything else around it to be, our standard stuff. But instead, the entire episode was beautiful. All three of its battle sequences, and even when just standing perfectly still, there was this really awesome chromatic effect on the character borders. I noticed these little hints of green and red alongside the black border lines that really complemented and emphasized the digital part of the digital world just really well. So seriously, hats off to the art and animation department this week. But even story-wise, we've got Taichi and Agumon this week on their own, passing through a wasteland that has attracted violent Digimon in this very Mad Max survival of the fittest environment. Taichi, Agumon, and a Digimon we just met, Cutemon, are being jumped and surrounded when a mysterious vigilante shows up, who Cutemon tells us is named Rebellimon. After taking care of the threats though, Rebellimon goes right after Metal Greymon, which confuses everyone. We learn he's essentially got an insatiable thirst for battle. There's an important scene where in the middle of the battle, we see a flash silhouette of Ogremon and Greymon, an iconic battle from episode 9 that turned one of the series' earliest threats into a respected ally and friendly rival of Greymon's. Notably, after Ogremon and Greymon's battle, Ogremon sacrificed himself to save the chosen children from Metal Tyrannomon, and after a huge explosion, we never saw Ogremon again. Skipping ahead to the episode's climax, Boltmon reappears. He's the only enemy we've seen defeat Rebellimon thanks to that Mega Level status. Boltmon dominates Rebellimon a second time, and again with incredible animation. This one punch I'm showing on screen right now, it reminded me of All Might versus the Nomu in season 1 of My Hero Academia, only the character we're supposed to be rooting for is now on the receiving end of the beating. There was a scene that actually confused me slightly because of the way it was cut, but essentially Cutemon heals Rebellimon when it's down, which inspires Rebellimon to ask why he's even fighting. This moment offers Rebellimon an opportunity to give himself a reason to fight, and he seems to choose protecting ones he cares about, just like Taichi and Agumon said earlier about how they want to protect the other Digidestined. Now with Cutemon riding Rebellimon and patching him up in real time, we get the incredible fight scene that we were promised from last week, and it does not disappoint. The speed of the animation and the choreography and the originality, I want to call it camera work, but obviously it's drawings, it's just mind-blowing, and Taichi is just sitting back watching, which I hope will appease the crowd who, doesn't like it when Taichi swoops in to save the day. This is 100% Rebellimon's win through and through. When it ends though, the two teams, Agumon and Taichi plus Cutemon and Rebellimon, they split off. Taichi's following his Digivice compass, but when he asks Rebellimon where they'll go, Rebellimon replies with one word that I thought was just brilliant: Masugu, in Japanese, which means forward or straight ahead. Now, it has been 45 weeks, so I'll explain that and jog your memory. When Ogremon was defending the kids from Metal Tyrannomon, he charged up this massive punch beam and actually shot it off in the opposite direction of Metal Tyrannomon. It made no sense for a second until Ogremon told Taichi and Greymon, Masugu, straight ahead, and following this path that I made you is where you'll find the Holy Digimon. He then sacrificed himself to hold off the first ultimate of the new series. So that's what that line is about, and I thought it was a very subtle, very cool callback. The last thing that Ogremon ever said to Taichi and Agumon, now being the first words that Rebellimon spoke in his new life, revealing that Ogremon is in fact Rebellimon and that he somehow survived. I hope we get to see Rebellimon and Cutemon again, and hopefully they bring back that stunning animation with them. Another surprise this week is that, hey, Taichi's arrow is, I guess, working now. We had done all this speculation in the comments that maybe his compass wasn't working because it needed to point to another dimension like the human world, or that he already found what he needed, or that it wouldn't start working until his friends found their compasses, but nope, it's working now, I guess, and it's now pointing to Mimi based on next week's preview. And speaking of next week's preview, obligatory spoiler countdown for those who don't want to watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're talking about the preview now. Rosemon is entering the scene. I'm pleasantly surprised by this, as I had made it known I was a little disappointed last week that there was nothing new for Joe, neither a mega nor a physical crest location. This week, though, there was nothing advancing the crest plot either, though I did love the Rebellimon plot, and so I thought a third episode with no progress on the megas or the crests would just be a bummer. But no, it appears Rosemon is in fact entering the scene. This is interesting because every other mega episode so far has put the mega's name in the title of the episode, but next week is not doing that. So it's almost as if they wanted to keep it a secret, but then they just put Rosemon in the preview anyways. I don't know. Maybe they caught wind of With the Will and Base Digimon doing their episode preview roundups and spoiling the surprises weeks in advance, and they wanted to keep it a secret a little longer. To summarize, I thought this was a pretty brilliant episode of Digimon Adventure, from story to animation to that final callback with Masugu. I thought we would have direct confirmation and discussion earlier in the episode that Ogremon equals Rebellimon, like actually have both parties discuss how he survived and, Taichi could catch him up on the events of the series. I thought I wanted that, but when he said that one-liner straight ahead, I thought that was just such a well-done callback that I changed my mind. I actually didn't want any more conversation. I love keeping it simple. Let me know in the comments how you liked this episode, if you would have done anything different, what you hope to see in not just next week's episode, but maybe the next 3, let's say. Crest Garurumon is clearly coming, as discussed in my latest video. Click on that if you want to see an in-universe preview of Matt's new Mega. Like this video if you can, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks so much, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.